Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and today's project is a little bit different than your normal card. Today's card is like a pat of money card is what we're gonna call it, I guess, and it looks like this. So when you open it up, it has this pat of money that you can peel off the top bill, right, or peel off whatever bill, but I turned the money into a pad and then I put it into like a checkbook kind of card. So let me first I'll try to get the lighting better, but I guess that's what we're gonna have to live with. So let me show you how I made this start to finish. So we're gonna start with the pat of money part, okay? So I went to the bank. I got a bunch of brand new, here, where's the front side, of $1 bills. Now, I don't know if this is defacing money or something like that, and it's illegal, but oh well, it makes a really cute graduation present, so I won't tell anybody if you won't. So what I started with was I cut a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock, the same size of the money, and I believe this is 6 1/8 by 2 5/8. But you just measure your money and cut your thick white cardstock. Chipboard that you get with your designer series paper would work here too. And then I laid down my desired amount of money for that gift, and then I cut or laid down another piece of the thick Whisper White, and then more money, and then I laid one on top. This way your first bill of your pad is going to be totally attached to your pad, if that makes sense. So that's why I put that last piece of Whisper or thick Whisper White on the top. Then I'm going to make sure that they're totally even here, because this is the side, right? I'm going to pat this pat here, or this side of the paper money here. Then I'm going to take binder clips or just something that'll hold, wait, my money moved, hold my money in place perfect so it doesn't move. I'm going to take one on each side, and it's still not, of course on the camera it's going to be difficult. Before I didn't have any trouble. There we go. Okay, hold this one, making sure this is flat, and then this side, and then one more time I'm going to check and make sure that, right, this is my money, right, and I want to pad this side. So then on Amazon I found this padding adhesive, and this little bottle will do like 1 million of them because it doesn't take very much. And then with just a little paintbrush, right, a little glue on the brush, and I'm just going to paint the end. Now, I didn't read the instructions on the bottle. I did this a long time ago. I made these pads of money before, so I felt like I was experienced and didn't need to read the instruction. But what I do is I layer 3 or 4 layers of this padding compound onto my money, and it dries really fast. You can see it's white now, kinda, you can see it's white now, but it dries really fast. In fact, at the end of the video I'm going to try to remember to show you that it's dry already. So like I said, I just put 3 or 4 coats on there, and then I let the last one sit probably overnight just to make sure that it's really dry before I do my project. But you can see just a thin coat. I hope you can see it. Maybe I'm not painting it where you can see it. A thin coat of that glue on there. And then just set it aside, let it dry. Make sure you wash your brush out, because this kind of reminds me of like an Elmer's glue, but they must put something in there that, I don't know, I've never tried it with Elmer's glue. The little bottle was cheap enough I didn't have to worry about it. I'm gonna quit painting this. I have to get that nice coat on there before I can put my brush down for some reason. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and like I said, I hope at the end of the video I'll show you that it's dry already, and you could just put another coat, and I'll go wash my brush then. But I've already done one in advance. Let me put the lid on this so I don't spill this too. Again, like I said though, my padding compound I just got off of Amazon, and it doesn't last forever, the one that I used 8 years ago. And let me show you that one. So this was the one I made, and I think it was 8 to 10 years ago. And if you've been with Stampin' Up! For a long time, you'll recognize like the Brad. The paper's even all faded because it's so long ago. But I did a little happy birthday one. There's the padded money, if you can see it there on the side. But it's just a fun project that you can give away as a nice gift. Okay, there we go. So like I said, this is one that I did yesterday. So I have them all padded. I have my front cover on there. Now I can remove, because it's all dried. I'm going to carefully remove it so my first dollar bill doesn't come off of there. And then I could reuse this again. If it's not too like crooked or jagged, I could use this again if I wanted to for another pad of money. But there you go. And then I'll separate and keep that thick white cardstock that's on the back with this pad and gently tear it apart. There we go. So now I have another pad of money, and then I could do it one more time because I did 3 on this one. But now I have my pad of money there. Look how cool that is, right? So now let's make the little jacket that I made into a card for this. So here's my cheat sheet. When I'm making a project like this, and for the first time, I usually try to take just a piece of copy paper, and I figure out my measurements and everything. So I need a piece of cardstock that is 9 1/4 by 6 1/2, which I've got here in basic black. And then I'm gonna score it at 3 inches. Right here, just score it here at 3, and then at 6 inches. And 1/6 and 1/8. Let me pull the arm out of the way here. And go to 6 and 1/8. Boy, and that's at the very end, but there we go. Okay, and that last little score line, you might want to adjust depending on how much money or how big a pad your your pad is, if that makes sense. So this way it's just going to give it a little bit of room for your stack of money. Stack, that's a better word. Okay, so let's fold on those score lines because we have to do one more thing to this piece of paper before we're ready to decorate it. And I want to make sure I get the right, go fold on that one little score line, and then back here to this 1/8 of an inch. Easier said than done. There we go. There we go. So now I've scored on all those score lines. So before I go to decorate this piece, I need to make sure that this part here folds up and this can still fold. Now this one, it's a little bit long. This like gets in the way of my fold line. So I'm gonna take my paper trimmer and just trim this off just a hair, so that it doesn't, and it, look, when I say hair, I mean just a itty bitty little piece of paper there. But now, when I fold it up, yeah, now it doesn't affect or it doesn't mess up with my score line. I can fold my card in half. So if you have that problem, just take a little strip off the end of this end. Now, one more thing we have to do is we have to make that slit so we can slip our money into there. And when you close it, you want your pad of money to be here. So I want to make a slit right here. It's dark. Let me see if I can make it better. A slit right here in my dark cardstock. So I'm going to put that, and I'm going to turn it this way because I'm going to use the measurement over here. And on my paper trimmer, I'm going to just use that first line. So I think that's 1/4 of an inch. And I have to stand up so I can make sure, because I want to just go as close as I can from the top edge down to that first score line, which was the 3-inch score line. So just a little bit like that. Let's see if you can see it. Can you see that little slit I just put in my cardstock? Okay, I think we're done with the trimmer. And I'm going to take my money here now, fold up my card like this, take that white thick that's on the back and slip it through that slit. Let's see if I got it thick enough to fit through. If not, I'm going to cut it just a little bit with my paper snips. Nope, look, it's good. And you slide your money in there. So now it looks like that, right? This is the piece, the 3-inch score line right here, and I slid my money in there, and then this is the thick white cardstock that was attached to the back. Okay, now with my money in there, Let me make sure I have it about where I want it. Okay, I'm going to take some liquid glue and I'm going to just put some glue here on the edges. Come on, liquid glue. Maybe I am. Oh, there, yes I am. Here. Now, if you would have cut this too far and maybe cut all the way, I would just put a little bit of liquid glue here that holds that money in there. You could put liquid glue all the way across, but I don't think it's necessary. You just need to make sure your sides are glued good and maybe just those little corners up here. Then I'm going to just take this and fold it up. And with my bone folder, oh wait, you know what I want to do is I'm going to use my silicone mat in case that glue gushes out and I don't get it on my work surface or on my desk here. But make sure that's nice. Get this corner up here where that liquid glue was. A little bit over here. And then under here, where that? Looky there, and there you go. And then with that score line, you have that little bind or that little edge right here where it folds over your pad of money and it closes like that. Now we need to put some weight on this so that it lays flat and doesn't pop up like that. So I'm going to start with a piece, put this away, we don't need this anymore either. I'm going to start with a piece of silver foil piece. This is, oh shoot, let me think, 6 inches by 2.5. But you better go to my blog, Be Creative with Kathy, because the correct measurements will be on there. Just as soon as I finish this video, I'll get over there and put the correct measurements on there. And then onto that, I'm going this time to make some cherry cobbler cards, because the graduation cards I need, they graduated from a class or from a school that's colors are dark red. So I'm going to take some cherry cobbler and lay that on there. And now if my first layer, my foil was 6 inches, this is going to be 5 3/4, and I believe this is 2 1/4, so that makes this my foil 2 1/2. Okay, then we have some basic white here that's just a little bit smaller, so it's 2 inches by 5 1/2, and that's what we're going to stamp on real quick. So I'm going to use the So Happy stamp set. Now this comes as a bundle in the annual catalog. The dies look like this. We're not going to use the dies. This is on the retired list, so if this is something you want, make sure you get it before May 3rd, is which is the last day of this annual catalog. Okay, I've got my stamps all mounted. I don't need to mount, they're right here. Ta-da! And I'm going to use StazOn Black. Now I want a deep, dark, rich black color. That's why I'm going to pick StazOn. And I'm using red rubber stamps, so it won't stain my stamps or anything. The StazOn will be just fine. I'm going to practice once on a piece of scratch paper just to make sure. Oh yeah, look how pretty that black is. Give me some room here to work. And I'm going to just stamp that and say about right there. Hopefully I got it straight. Yeah. Looks not bad, right? Looks not bad. Oh, that's good grammar. Looks pretty good. Let's go that route. And then with just a little bit of cherry cobbler, I'm going to bring in that graduation and stamp that. Hopefully this is straight. We'll see. Right there. Okay. And since I have my cherry cobbler ink out on this, this is the exact same side. This is going to be that for the inside. So this is the 2 or 5 1/2 by 2 inches, but I'm going to stamp some balloons on there. So from the stamp set I have this big solid balloon. I'm going to just stamp that up in the corner there, and then I'm going to use this star balloon and stamp him close by. That looks pretty good. We're done with that color, and then with that StazOn again, I'm going to bring in that little tiny balloon from the same stamp set and just tie them all together with that little black balloon right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. They need some kind of string, so I'm going to just use my black Stampin' Right marker and just kind of draw those little strings down there. And now that's all set for the inside. And look, I smeared my ink. So real quick, let me turn it over and stamp it one more time. Because I don't want to finish, I want to really give this away to somebody, and I don't want to give it with smeared ink. So let me hurry and stamp my happy again. There we go. And my graduation. And then I'll set it aside and let it dry. And my graduation. There we go, that's better. We'll set those aside just for a second. Now I think this one's dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and layer this. Whoop. On the inside, whoop, no, I'm gonna layer it on the cherry cobbler first. And now this is where you would write your, you know, your name or your greeting or whatever you want to write on your card. Gives you a little bit of room on the side here. And then we're going to take this and layer this right in here. Now we're starting to get some weight on that so to stay shut, but look, we're not quite there yet. We need a little bit more weight on here. So let's, on this piece, it looks a little bit well, quiet in the back. I want to give it some noise, so I'm going to take some smoky slate ink and my little star stamp. I'm going to stamp off because I don't want it too loud, and just stamp. I'm going to stamp what I call some noise in the background here. There we go. And then I'm going to layer this onto that cherry cobbler piece here that I have on my foil piece. And then just go ahead and layer this onto the front of my card. Well, how come my tape? I think I'm coming to the end of my Stampin' Seal, or I'm just not using it right. Here we go, and layer this onto here. And look, and now that foil paper and those layers, now it's heavy enough that it just lays down nicely. So let's go ahead now and work on this little graduation cap. So I have some scraps here of basic black cardstock, and we're gonna do some punch art. So with the Taylor, I think it's called the Taylor Tag Punch, we want one of those. And then we need this small balloon of the balloon punch. Now the balloon punch is on the retired list, and I'm almost afraid to tell you, I think it's sold out. So I don't think you can get the balloon punch anymore, but I think a circle, an oval, or something else like that would work. Then on my balloon, I'm gonna just take it in there. See how I'm putting it back into my punch? And I'm gonna just punch a little bit off of that edge and put it back on the other side and punch off a little bit off of that edge. Okay, my punch locked on me. And now my balloon looks like the base or the hat, the head part of your graduation cap. Then with this Taylor tag, and now I have a cheat sheet here because I got this idea from Christine Grill. So thank you, Kirstine Grill. She does Creating with Kirstine, if you want to go and check out her blog. But she's the one that I saw make this graduation cap this way, and I thought it was great and wanted to make it too. So then we're going to take this. Now you notice this was a sticky note, and it's just a handle to take that Taylor tag and put it back in my punch. And I'm going to just line up those points so it looks like that. Maybe you can't see because it's black, but when you punch it out, you want something that looks like that. And I'm not happy with that one either. Look, I punched out a punch. So let me do it again. Doggone it. Like that. I have to get a new Post-it note because those Post-it notes don't have any more sticky on them. I punched it all away. So let me grab a new Post-it note here. I'm going to try this again. Put my little handle. Maybe this time you can see when I put it back through the punch. And put it back in here so I just get the points. I don't know what I did last time. I wasn't paying attention enough, I guess. There we go. So it looks like this. This is what we want. Much better. I'm going to take that little Post-it note off the back. Well, maybe I am. There we go. Now just a little bit of liquid glue on the top of my balloon here. And set my top of my hat right there, and it looks like that. Now it looks like a graduation cap. Okay, so then how I added the tassel, I just want to make a hole, so I just have an eraser here. It's just something handy at my desk, and I'm going to take the piercing part of my Take-A-Pick tool, and I'm going to poke a hole right there about in the middle. Okay, so then for mine, I'm going to use, this is an old pack, but I want the Cherry Cobbler Baker's Twine. Now the good news is if you don't have any Baker's Twine, you can still get some. There's some with the Snailed It bundle, and there's going to be some in the new catalog, so you can still get Baker's Twine, or any little twine like this would really work. But I'm going to tie a simple knot there in the end, and then just snip off a little piece here. Okay, and then using this is a needle threader. Has everybody seen these before? I'm going to pull that thread from the front into the back. So there, now I have the thread through my hat, my graduation hat. And I think that graduation hats, that those tassels, which is going to be this part of my string here, hang off just the edge. So I want my my twine to stay about right there. So I'm going to just take a dimensional and hold this on the back. Get my dimensionals at the ready here, and hold that twine down with a dimensional. And then I'm going to put a dimensional here and a dimensional here, just so my hat lays flat. This is well secure, so I'm going to cut that extra off so you don't see it. And now there we go. Okay, so now I want my tassel to hang this way. I'm going to just take my liquid glue here and put a little tiny dot of liquid glue right here at the edge where I want my twine to go. And then I'm going to just pull my twine and hold it there for a second. Now, can you see, maybe you can't see, how the glue is, it's thicker than my twine. So now that I have glue on my twine, I'm going to just lift it up, wipe that off, and then now the glue that's on my twine is going to stick to my hat, and I won't see the glue on the hat where I don't want it. I hope that made sense. Sometimes I don't make any sense. Okay, so now as my twine is drying, or that little bit of glue, this is a little too long. Let me trim this down a little bit. I'm going to take that same pokey tool for my pick tool, and I'm going to unravel. There we go. Or I'm going to fray. I don't know if it's called. I think I'm going to unravel that Baker's Twine there. And then that is now the tassel on my graduation cap. Look how cute that is. Okay, bring my card back in here. Take those dimensional backs off. And lay my little hat, I think, about like there on my card. And there you go. There's my graduation gift. Looks like that. I hope you'll give this money padding a try. It's kind of a fun technique, and it's a very unique way to give a gift. I think the kids that I've given it to have really appreciated it and thought it was pretty cool. So there you go. Like I said, for the correct dimensions, I would go to my blog, BeCreativeWithKathy.com, and you can find the correct measurements there. Please like my page here on Facebook, and if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my blog, and click on that bell so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.